All right, Shalom Boys here. Well, let's talk about it. Get right into it. Debt, money stress, and you. We're living in a day and age where people are in so much debt. We're looking at credit card debt. It's almost about to hit $1 trillion in credit card debt. You're looking at people literally living off their credit cards. You're looking at inflation going up. You look at the cost of living going up. Everything is going up except for your paycheck. It is very much the norm now to speak to people out there and find out that they're working 2 and 3 jobs. I don't know how is it that people survive like this, but hey, people do what they got to do. Mortgage debt, high interest rates. See, all of the inflated credit reports and credit scores that people has gotten over the years, where the people who were selling you credit repair, they made a ton of money off of fools. And you know how I know the vast majority of people were fools? Look at the numbers. See, the numbers don't lie. If everybody was getting their credit repaired, because all it is inflated credit scores, you'd have an economy and you'd have a whole bunch more people in a better situation socioeconomically. But when we look at the situation, you find that a lot of people are not better off than they were a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. The average person, I mean, it's hard pressed to find a person that will say, yeah, I'm better off than I was a year ago, 3 years ago. Everything is on a decline. And this is causing an extreme amount of stress to folks. But well, you take gas, $3 a gallon now. This is out in the country. You know it's more expensive in the cities. So, this is why I tell people, you got to live within your means, because, it's a beautiful thing to be able to wake up in the morning and not be stressed about money. I say over and over again, I'm not a wealthy man, but I can take care of my expenses, and I can provide a good quality life for my wife and my children. And it's just a beautiful thing not to have to be worried about whether or not I can afford to put food on the table. It's not like sitting down. I mean, just the other night I had some honey glazed lamb with some frozen string beans that were grown, as well as, what the hell is that? That looked like some type of fire over there. Yeah, it's a fire over there. But you got that, and then you got some potatoes. All can be grown on the land, all grown on the land. And it's a liberating feeling because you don't have to worry about all of these external things that are going on. And it's sad to see people are literally getting crushed by this situation. And at the end of the day, they still won't move. I mean, how bad does it have to get before you decide to take some proactive steps in order to prevent yourself from experiencing the economic pain that a lot of people are experiencing in this country, especially the so-called Hebrews. It's a sad deal. But there are solutions. But unfortunately, the more time it takes for people to realize what those solutions are, or a lot of, you know what? A lot of people have the solution. A lot of people have been seeing videos like mine for many years, and I've chosen not to do anything. But the unfortunate thing about it is that the more and more you wait to decide to take steps to correct the situation, the more and more difficult it's going to be. The more and more stressful it's going to be, the more and more difficult it's going to be to make any kind of change, due to the simple fact that you have chosen to not take proactive steps in order to correct the issues. that you're experiencing. And it's sad, but a lot of people, they're just gonna fade away, and before you know it, you're out on the streets. You got to understand. You speak to a homeless person. Now, I'm not talking about the druggies. I'm not talking about the people who gambled their life away and they were homeless. I'm just talking about the average, everyday person that didn't think that they would lose their job. I'm talking about the average person on the streets that never thought that they would be homeless as a direct result of a job loss. I'm not talking about a catastrophe or something like that. You got people that happens all the time to people. Their house burned down. Something catastrophic happens and it's outside of their control, and it puts them in a situation as to where they need help. They need a handout, and there's nothing wrong with that. Those are the kind of people that you should help. When I'm talking about the kind of people that this slow decline that's taking place. You see people they're slowly transitioning into a state of poverty where before the average American didn't need 2-3 jobs to survive. Now you got people they're working. One sister told me she was working she's a what was it? It was some type of childhood development teacher. Then she was a CNA, and then she worked Uber. 3 jobs. This is just, and have children. It's a sad deal. Or brothers out there working 2 and 3 jobs to be able to survive. It's just a gut-wrenching situation because, when you're in these situations, it's pretty hard to get out of that rut. A perfect example is when people, when they get into debt, when they, especially, I'm telling you, the worst debt that you can be in is in hock to the IRS. That's the worst situation you should be in. I can't stress enough to not get into debt and get behind on your taxes to these people, because their interest accrues every day. The interest that are going on credit cards, those are adjustable rate interest rates. I have a lot of credit cards. I think we got about 20 credit cards. And I'm telling you, man, the interest rate on those credit cards are constantly going up. This is why we say if you're going to use a credit card, use it as a short-term loan to yourself. That's where you can pay that thing off by the end of the month, so you're not getting hit with 30% interest rate. This is legalized loan sharking at this point in time. And so a lot of people are going into these situations, and credit repair is not going to save you. A third job is not going to save you. What is going to save you is massive cuts in the things that you do to feed the lust of your flesh. Now, a lot of people are not going to do it. That's okay. But you are going to suffer, and your children are going to suffer as a direct result of your lethargic and apathetic and myopic and lazy and complacent thought process and spirit that plagues our people today. And as a direct result, a lot of people are suffering now, and a lot more people are going to suffer. But it feels good to not be under this pressure. And people, have you ever been under that situation? It's a thing. It's something that weighs down on you. It really just cuts you to the bone. And so, you want to make sure that you're not in these situations to where you're not pressed down to the point where your spirit is so jacked up and so pressed down that you can't even think, you can't even process thought. A lot of people can't concern themselves with anything in terms of their spiritual well-being or anything that's going on in the world today that's going to have a direct effect on them, is because they're so stressed about just the normal, everyday concerns that they have. And that's why it's just such a blessing to be in a situation, if you are, to have a peaceful home, to have an ability to have a real skill, that you can go out. You don't have to depend on these jack-legged pigs and dogs to make you a W-2 employee, and you got to pay 30% of your hard-earned income. As a W-2 employee, you got to go and work these dead-end jobs. I tell you, man, when are we going to wake up? I don't know. But it feels damn good to be woke and to be active. See, you can fill up your brain with all these YouTube videos of these people coming out here and telling you how things going and all this stuff. But it does you no good if you're not going to be proactive and take serious steps to shield yourself from the economic pain and the destitution that's coming and that's befalling a lot of people today. Well, hey, few people are going to hear it, and that's okay. These kind of messages are for those that do have the ears to hear. You stay encouraged, because your hard work and your dedication, your commitment, and your resilience, and your compassion, and your persistency, and your consistency, and your ability to stay focused will pay off. As for everybody else, hey, reaping and sowing, which one are you?